Hey everybody, I'm Chris Massey, and welcome to the Chris Massey Music Show here on the American Hearts Radio Network. We're coming to you live tonight from our studio here in downtown Atlanta. Tonight is episode 9 of season 2 and the 25th episode of the Chris Massey Music Show. Al, can you believe it's been 25 episodes? 25 episodes. You know what else is unbelievable is that CNN, Fox News, or MSNBC have not picked up this show. That's amazing in itself. Can you imagine us on Fox News?
Oh man, wide open.
People would be having cardiac arrest. They would. That's right. Okay. Now, one of the things that's been going around America the last couple of months is this business about people refusing to do business with gay people because of their religious beliefs. Now, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, that this ain't nothing but a bunch of bullshit. This is just another way for people to discriminate against gay people. I mean, what if there was a religion out there that said that we don't believe in doing business with black people? Well, then I guess the Civil Rights Bill, it just wouldn't mean anything now, would it? Now, the bottom line is this. Religious beliefs do not trump the law of the land. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And here's a prime example. The Mormons believe in having more than one wife. Well, in the United States of America and in all 50 states, it is against the law to be married to more than one person at the same time. I don't see anybody raising any kind of cane about the fact that their religious freedoms are being infringed upon. And you know why that is? Well, if you get any religious person alone and they'll get honest with you, they'll tell you that the Mormons are wacko. That's why. And it just ain't worth the effort to try to do something like that. Now, the problem I have with all this is that religious folks tend to pick and choose the religious beliefs that they want to do. For example, in the Bible, it is a sin to work on Sunday. In fact, people in the Old Testament that were caught working on Sunday were stoned to death. Yet every Sunday in America, when church lets out, millions of people flood restaurants all over this country, going into establishments where people are working, and they're contributing to the sin by being in there and being customers. Well, I mean, why isn't anybody saying anything about this? Well, they say, well, Chris, that was a long time ago. And, things change, well, I know it was a long time ago. And I know things change, all except for the gay thing. That doesn't change. That doesn't seem to, you still want to try to make that thing happen that way. Now, if you are going out to eat on Sunday and you are working on Sunday, well, let me tell you something. And you're against, and you're for these people not doing business with gay people, then you're nothing but a hypocrite. I'm sorry. I mean, there ain't no way around it. The Bible says that on Sunday you were supposed to rest and keep the Sabbath day holy. You know what that means? It means when you get home from church, you read your Bible and you take a nap. Doesn't mean that you watch TV, because if you're watching TV, I can promise you somebody is working to make that program happen. You don't go to Home Depot and buy pine straw and tulips and begonias and fertilizer and come home and work in your yard all day, and you don't play golf. Isn't that right, Al?
Dude.
Now, they say that God knows all, and I'm not arguing that fact, but listen, don't you think he would have known that in the 21st century that this gay thing would have been a problem? I mean, why is it one of the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not be gay. I mean, how hard is that? And Jesus never spoke of it. In fact, he never spoke of sexuality at all. Now, there's only 2 people that write about the gay thing in the Bible. One is Moses in the Old Testament, and the other is the Apostle Paul. Now, Moses, we all know, is the guy that wrote the story about the talking snake. And he also chronicles the beginning of time from day one. But yet, somehow, he forgot to include things like cavemen and dinosaurs and the Ice Age. I just guess that stuff wasn't important. And the Apostle Paul, hey, man, this dude spent time in prison. He probably had a legitimate reason for writing why you shouldn't be gay. You like that, Al? Now, all I have got is my own personal opinion and my own personal experience. And my personal opinion is this. If gay people are choosing to be gay, then that means heterosexual people are choosing not to be gay. And me, I'm not choosing not to be gay. I'm just not gay. And if it's not a choice for me, how in the hell can it be a choice for them? 100 years from now, people are going to look back on our society and our views about gay people, and they're going to laugh at us. Kind of like we laugh at those people that thought the world was flat, or thought the Edsel was the car of the future, or those people that thought it was a good idea to replace David Lee Roth and Van Halen with Sammy Hagar. That's right. All right, we got a great show tonight. I have got from the Brains and from Delta Moon, Mr. Tom Gray. It's going to be a good one. Get you a beer and relax. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a great night out? Are you in the Atlanta, Georgia area? Are you looking to check out some live, awesome music during the week? They have keynote, poker tournaments, horseshoes, and special events. It's all at the Moon Shadow Tavern. That's at 3976 Lawrenceville Highway in Tucker, Georgia. That's the Moon Shadow Tavern. Give them a call, 770-674-2133. Check out their selection of great food, friendly service. Visit their website at msttucker.com. That's www.msttucker.com. Moon Shadow Tavern is a proud sponsor of the Chris Massey Web TV music show on www.americanheartsradio.com. Make sure you told them that American Hearts Radio sent you. Visit their website, check out their great selection of food, appetizers, wings, burgers, sandwiches and wraps, steaks and chicken, salads and sides. Also their drink specials. Live music during the week. Check them out. Give them a call, 770-674-2133.
You're watching the Chris Massey Music Show. And by the way, I'm Johnny Van Zant of Leonard Skinner.
It's Leon Smoker with Rachel Jordon.
The networks make me go to this Kiss concert with you.
Well, you know, man, sometimes I get lost. You know, I have a hard time getting found.
Where'd you even find this car?
You know that dude that does the Batman show at 11 a.m. on Saturdays?
Oh, yeah, so we let you borrow it?
Well, sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
Well, I mean, my car broke down and I kind of sort of took his.
Well, did you ask him for permission?
No.
So you stole it?
Well, man, look, it's not really stealing, man. We're going to give it back to him after we get back from the concert.
It's unbelievable.
Now, look, man, when we get to the concert, I've got some weed in the glove box there, man, and I want you to put it in your purse and take it into the concert for me.
Have you lost your mind?
Oh, shit.
What?
Oh, man, it's the cops, man. Quick, get that weed out, man, and shove it down your pants.
I'm not shoving weed down my pants.
Oh, shit, here he comes. Play cool, play cool.
Hello, sir.
Hello, officer. Listen, man, if you pull us over because you think we've got marijuana in this car, we don't have any in here.
You were speeding.
Yeah?
Are you Leon Smoker?
Yeah? Yeah, man, I'm Leon Smoker. Yeah, that's right, man. And this is Rachel Jordan.
I've seen both your shows.
Hi, officer.
Man, you need to do a
Yeah?
Black Sabbath review.
So you'd like to see us do a review of a Black Sabbath record, huh?
You can go slow it down.
Okay. All right, man. Well, listen, man, I really appreciate it. Man, that was close.
You're an idiot.
Officers require assistance.
We're back. Okay, coming up on the Chris Massey Show, many of you know that we had Cindy Wilson from the B-52s booked to be here next Tuesday night on May 27th. Unfortunately, the B-52s have added a show to their tour, and she will not be able to attend. However, she has promised me that she will do the show probably sometime at the end of the summer, and she has requested that we do a 1-hour special with Cindy Wilson, and we're going to do that. So not next week, but later on down the road. But have no fear, we've got a great show next Tuesday night Anne Marie Perry from the Anne Marie Perry Band will be here, and Peter V, former guitarist for the Basics and the Roys. He also did work with guys like Andy Summers from the Police and Herbie Hancock. He'll be here too. When we come back, we'll have Mr. Tom Gray. Stick around. Hey, I'm Leon Smoker.
And I'm Rachel Jordon.
And I'm Moses Moe from Mother's Finest.
And you're watching the Chris Massey Music Show.
Hey man, you remember that time when you guys opened for Aerosmith? I do.
Man, that was awesome.
Boys got the drinks going round. I ain't got no worries and the work's all done, and I ain't going home. I'm having too much
My daddy told me when I was just a kid. I tell you, don't do like I did. I know you better listen, but I'll give it to you straight. You'll never know it hit you till it's way too late. Yes, I know. Cause you're so sweet. You up completely. Crying, you love me, but you cry in vain. You'll never get to heaven on a hill mountain. Come down on a hill mountain. I met a girl in Memphis, we were both just 21. We drove together, looking for so far. Cases in Atlanta, one near 44. I went broke in Florida and started robbing a liquor store. Yes, I know. You're so sweet. Cry in vain, you'll never get to heaven on a hellbound tree. Never get to heaven on a hellbound tree. She was living in Ocala with a son on no sea. So I didn't speak, and then I told him, son, don't do like I tell you, don't do like I done. Yes, I know.
All right. You were just watching a video of the band Delta Moon. Delta Moon is a very hot blues act. They play all over Atlanta, all over the country, and they play over in Europe as well. You know, in 1980, I was about 18 years old, and I 17 or 18, and I went to the Agora Ballroom, and that was the first time that I ever saw the Brains. And became a big fan of theirs and watched their career go, and have followed this guy since he's been in Delta Moon. Would you please welcome to the Chris Massey Show, Mr. Tom Gray? Oh, yeah. I'm good, my friend. Come on in. Come on in. Man, we're so glad to have you on the show here, Tom. All right, I know you guys are you're busy, and we really appreciate it. Tom, you were You were telling me that you moved to Atlanta when you were like 13 years old.
Yeah.
That's around 1964.
In ancient days.
Yeah, about the time when the Beatles were hitting and everything.
That's right.
And you, the first instrument you learned to play was keyboard. You told me you had a piano in the house
Piano in
growing
the
up.
house, yeah. So I was trying to make the sounds I heard on the radio on the piano.
Now, did your parents play piano?
No. My dad had a clarinet. He played clarinet a little bit, but not much.
So, but y'all did have a piano in the house?
Yes, we did.
Okay, all right, great.
I'd bang on it. My mother would come in and say, "Why don't you go take a walk?" that was music to my ears right there, because when you're that age, all you want to do is bother your mother.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, so the 1970s get here in the early 70s, and I talked with you about you of course were part of that scene going down there at Piedmont Park with the Hampton Grease Band and the Allman Brothers and all those bands playing down there.
I was not in a band at that time. Well, I was in little bands, but I was down there hanging out and seeing all these bands. I remember seeing the Hampton Grease Band and Allman Brothers, both of them, many times in the park.
And that is really the roots of when the original music scene in Atlanta kind of got going. Now, it took a big detour in the 70s going to more cover bands type things.
For me, it did, because that was the work that you could get.
Right.
But for a lot of us of that generation, that was sort of our university. That was our school. We were working in bars. In those days, you could work six nights a week, 4 sets a night. It was like a regular job, and you're playing dance music.
Right.
You're learning what gets people up dancing, what gets their butts moving, what makes them want to drink, because that way you'll get paid. You know.
Right. And I imagine back then there were probably more clubs than there were bands. Or probably on even keel right there. Is that about right?
Probably. You get a gig in a club, you could sit there for months.
See, that is not the case today.
No.
There are 10 bands for every one club.
Sure.
Maybe 50. I mean that they're everywhere, and because of that, it's harder and harder to make any money playing, because you've always got somebody that just wants to play.
Yeah.
And, so in the late 70s, around 1976, 1977, you got some buddies that were playing in the Fans. Is that right?
Yeah, Alfredo VR and Kevin Dunn had a band. They were friends of mine from college. And they were writing their own music and going up to New York and playing in these clubs in New York City and meeting these famous people I'd only read about,
Sure, yeah.
They're playing CBGB's and Max's Kansas City, these legendary clubs up there. They're getting written up in the New York Times and Variety and all these magazines.
Yeah, that stuff down there in the Bowery those days was making a lot of noise, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And with the record people, too.
Yeah, and that was the time Alfredo was up there and Kevin, and they were playing on bills. They were opening for the Police and the Talking Heads, and then there was a show here in Atlanta with Talking Heads and Elvis Costello at the old Capri, which...
Oh, yeah.
Bucket.
Okay. I remember that.
And then they were all over at the Fans' house after the show.
Is that right? Wow.
David Byrne sits down there in the rehearsal room. He sits down with a guitar and just starts strumming. Everybody's too scared to go in and play with him. I got to admit, I sat in the kitchen myself.
Is that...
Anyway, it was very inspiring. So I went up to New York with them on a trip, and... They played CBGB's up there, and I just hung out and met a lot of people, and go in there, and there's they got the 45s. In those days, people were pressing their own 45s.
Sure.
They're all up there behind the bar on the wall, everybody. And I said, man, this is what I got to do. I got to start writing my own music and form my own band. And Alfredo says, that's exactly what you got to do, and it's going to be called The Brains. He made up the name, and they just told me that.
And you guys decided to
I
stick
said,
with
okay,
that?
yeah. So that's what we did. And Rick Price, who'd been playing with me in a lot of dance bands,
right?
He and I were the nucleus of the Brains, and Charles Wolf joined us on drums.
Now, for those of you that don't know, Rick Price was playing guitar back in those days.
Yeah.
And though he did play bass in the Satellites, Rick is an excellent guitar player.
Yes, he is. He's back to playing guitar today. He's playing all acoustic now.
Okay.
He's got a new acoustic album out called Potter's Field.
So you guys come out and you form the Brains, and it's around 1977, 78?
Yeah, 78 by the time we got a band together. We started playing. Our first gig was at the old Southeastern Music Hall.
Okay.
And I was in the fans at that time, too. I went out to L.A. with them and did some gigs with them. Their keyboard player quit, and I filled in, you know. But at the same time, I'm starting my band. So, but then first gig was there at the Great Southeastern Music Hall, and it was the Brains opened, and then it was the B-52s, their first show outside of Athens. They had only 7 songs at that time. They were just playing parties there in Athens. And Alfredo talked them into getting out of Athens, coming into Atlanta, and going up to New York, too. He kind of paved the way for a lot of people.
Wow.
At that time. Well, I say Alfredo. Kevin was part of it, too. The fans were really... they were a great band, and I felt like they never got what they were due.
Well, you know, when we first started playing clubs in 1980, when I was in the Mistakes, one of the first bands we heard about were the Fans.
Yeah.
People told us about how great they were and stuff. And so in 78 in Atlanta, you guys are getting together. The swimming pool cues are starting to make a little noise. The Restraints, they were starting to play. And I think the Heathen Girls and the Basics were probably not too far behind.
Yes.
You know, when I had Steve May on the show, he said that one of the things that made the 688 go was when he opened the club, that there were 5 or 6 bands in Atlanta, local bands, that could pack out the club on the weekend. And he told me that if it wouldn't have been for you guys and the swimming pool cues, the Basics, the Restraints, and the Heathen Girls, they'd have never made it that first year. He said because it took him a little while to start getting national acts in there. And then, of course, bands just started coming out of the woodwork. You know, by 1980, 1981, they were everywhere.
But he had a lot of great national acts played.
He did.
I saw Los Lobos there. Iggy Pop played there.
Yes, sir. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, a lot of great bands. So you guys, around 1979, you decide that what y'all need to do is get a record deal. And the Brains go up to New York, and y'all are fishing around. Why don't you tell us a little bit how that record deal came about with Mercury Records?
Well, we went up to New York. We rented a beach house on Long Island, Long Beach, Long Island. We could take the train into town or drive in with our gear and play shows in clubs all over Manhattan and get the record companies out to see us. That was the idea. And it's kind of a strange thing. You know, people, we pass. Oh, well, I like them, but I'm not signing. You know, whatever. But anyway, we ended up signing with Mercury, and got in a studio down here with Steve Lillywhite producing. It was great. We were over in a studio off Cheshire Bridge, and the first week producing, it was like Philips bought up, the big European conglomerate bought up Mercury Records, fired everybody from the president to the receptionist.
Right.
And put in all new people. We're in the studio. They got no idea who we are or what we're doing. And we had no idea who they were. All the people we knew were already gone.
It's like being at a party you weren't invited to.
Right, exactly. That's kind of the way it felt. But so anyway, we cut a couple records for Mercury. And then we did an EP on the Landslide label.
Okay, and I know you said you guys did some touring with the Kinks.
We did a tour with
and played some shows with U2, and I know I saw you at the Fox Theater when Devo was on their second or third tour, I believe. So anyway, then the Brains end up splitting up, but in the meantime, you have somebody that's shopping the single from the Brains album, Money Changes Everything. And he's shopping it around, and tell me what happens with that.
Marv Goodman with ATV was a publishing company, and Marv pitched it. He pitched several of my songs to different people. I had some covers through Marv, and also through a guy in Germany, George Gluck, got a Manfred Mann to do one of my songs. Which was cool.
Wow.
But Marv pitched a song to producer Rick Chertoff for an artist named Rachel Sweet. I don't know if you remember her. It's kind of a new wave.
Right.
She passed on it. 6 months later, he gets a call back from Rick Chertoff saying, I got a new artist that I think that song would be good for. And it was Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper. And this was on the Girls Just Want to Have Fun record, is that right?
Right.
Wow, and that was one of the biggest albums of 1983, was it not?
It was like quadruple platinum. It was
right.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Money Changes Everything just wasn't on the record, but it was a single that was released. Yeah. She did a video for it.
Yeah.
Do you remember how high that song charted?
Somewhere in the top 20. It didn't go to number one, but
still,
it got up there.
Top 20.
Yeah.
You know, and I was telling you last night, you know, you've got a song that is probably played on the radio somewhere on this planet every day. I mean, it really probably is. There's an 80s radio station somewhere that plays
It's not just there.
Money Changes Everything. Well, I mean, that was, that music from the 80s had its own sound.
Yes, it did.
I mean, it had its own sound, and certainly better than a lot of the stuff that they're playing out there today. So I guess then you start getting the awesome mailbox money.
Yeah, that was good. It took a while.
Right.
When you have a hit song, as a songwriter, getting your airplay money and your mechanicals money, all that is like 9 months to a year down the road.
Right.
From when it's a hit.
And like most songwriters, you need it the first time it's played on the radio.
I sure want it.
That's right.
I just got married. My wife and I were living in this little cheap apartment, and thin walls, and there's this gay couple next door that's fighting all the time. And then they playing the Cyndi Lauper record over there. It's like they're keeping me up at night playing my own song.
Playing your own song. Well, so then things move on, and then later on, how long has Delta Moon been together?
Mark Johnson and I have been playing together since the late 90s, actually.
I was about to say, I thought it was in the 90s, so we're coming up, you're not there yet, but you're knocking on the door of around, you're getting close to 20 years with this band.
For me and Mark, yeah, probably, but it's just started out like getting together in the living room and playing.
Right, and then you did some shows at Blind Willie's, you said.
Yeah, well, the very first shows were like little acoustic type situations in coffee houses and that sort of thing, and then gradually it got a little louder. We added the bass and drums, and we did for a while. We sort of put it together at Fat Matt's. We had Mondays at Fat Matt's for a while, and then we left there and started doing Tuesdays at Blind Willie's, and just started developing a regular crowd, and got to where we were filling it up, and it was a scene,
I got you.
And it was fun. It's kind of like when in the 80s when the Satellites used to play at Hedgens and
Oh, yeah.
Buckhead on Monday nights.
And then it was 7 nights a week.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they were there Mondays, and there was people would go to hear the Satellites on Mondays.
That's right. That's right.
And it was sort of like that. But then we went out to Memphis. We got involved in this competition, the International Blues.
And you guys won it.
Yeah, we did. There were people there from all over the world, so that was a good lift.
Why. And you guys played at the Montreal Jazz Festival?
Yes, we did.
Now, some of these festivals you play, how many people are we talking at these things?
Montreal Jazz Festival is huge. I mean, we were on a stage. There were like 3 streets that come together. We're on a little park sort of thing where these 3 streets join, but there were people as far as you could see on each one of these streets going away from the stage.
Wow.
So it was that was good. And yeah, some of these festivals we play are pretty big. Some are not so big, but I love playing festivals.
Now, you guys have got a record that just came out. Is that correct?
That's right. Low Down.
Low
is
Down.
the name of it.
Okay. And I asked you how many records you got out. You said you weren't sure. You said one guy said, I got all 7 of them, and you said, well, that may be too many. And then another guy said, well, I've got all 5 of your records. Well, that can't be enough.
No, he said he had 10. I said, I know that's too many.
But you guys are making a living with Delta Moon, is that right?
Well, I still got some other things going on. It's hard, really. I mean, I can make a living for a few months at a time.
Sure. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. So
we're trying. We'd love to make 12 months a year living out of Delta Moon.
But doing that too, I mean, you're going to be on the road a lot more.
Yeah. Well, we're on the road a lot now. But what I'm saying is, I've still got some. Fortunately, I didn't go out and buy a yacht when I had Cyndi Lauper record. I bought a commercial building over in Little 5 Points, and that's
good for you.
Yeah, that's worked out well for me. So I got a little rock, a basis of income there that I can.
How many gigs you guys do a year?
I don't know, maybe a little over 100. We sometimes
it's a working band right there,
well,
man.
sometimes, like when we go over in Europe, we're working almost every day. 5,
I mean, 100 gigs a year, all over, on across the pond and here.
I don't know. Maybe that's too many because sometimes we don't work that much in a month.
And you guys are doing this yourself, right? I mean,
we have booking agents we work with.
Right. But you don't have no major label pushing you or anything.
No, we're our own push. We got The last couple of records before this one we were on a label out of New York called Red Parlor, but we decided to do this one ourselves. Just you go into debt when you do it, but
That's right.
But the payoffs are better.
You're telling me.
So that's the way it is.
You're telling me. So people ask me all the time. They say, "So you have a lot of tax write-offs with your company, Massey Gutters?" I said, "Yeah, and the Chris Massey Band is the #1." You know, my accountant told me one day. He said, "Your gutter company can sponsor your band." I said, "Really?" I said, so anyway, I do get a little bit of something out of that.
Do you have like a banner behind the band when you play, or
on the drum head?
On the drum.
On the drum head. That's it. Yeah. No, I don't advertise Massey Gutters with it. You know, too much. So anyway, but anyway, so you guys got a show coming up on May the 29th
at Eddie's Attic.
At Eddie's Attic.
That'll be our official CD release party.
Wow.
For Atlanta, anyway.
And I'll tell you, folks, this show will probably sell out. It probably will, so you need to get your tickets. And that's me, too. I need to get one as well. Tom, it was great having you here.
My pleasure, Chris.
Good luck to you, and we'll have to have you back again sometime.
All right.
Tom Gray, everybody. We'll be right back.
Come see the comedy and magic of Dennis Aloia this Saturday, May 23rd. Show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Admission is free at the Moon Shadow Tavern, 3976 Lawrenceville Highway, Tucker, Georgia, 30084. Give us a call at 770-674-2133. That's 770-674-2133. Or visit our website at www.msttucker.com.
All right, we're back. For being a guest on the Chris Massey Show, Tom Gray will receive a 6-month supply of Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat, and a case of turtle wax. Just see Ray, the security guard, in the lobby, and he will set you up with your door prizes. We will be back next Tuesday night, May 26th, with Anne-Marie Perry and Peter V. The Chris Massey Band, we will be performing a benefit for Miss Kat Peters at Smith's Old Bar on Friday, June the 5th. There's several acts that are going to be playing at this benefit. I'll have more information on next week's show. And on June the 20th, I will be at the Moon Shadow Saloon opening up for country starlet Gina Gailey, and it will be the CD release party for my new album, Tuckerville. So I hope you can all make plans to be out there for that. Until then, like I say, always love your woman, take life as it comes, and when you get the chance, have too much fun. We'll see you next time.
Hey.